On the evening of November 26, 2008, 10 young men stepped off a speedboat into the bustling coastal city of Mumbai. They wore ordinary street clothes, designed to blend in, but their demeanor, paired with the massive, heavy bags slung over their shoulders, caught the eye of a local fisherman named Bharat Tamor. When he asked them what they were doing, one of the men snapped at him to mind his own business. Trusting his instincts, Tamor immediately reported the strange encounter to the local police. The authorities took the information, deemed it unimportant, and chose not to investigate. That single decision allowed the men to slip into the city. Over the next 60 hours, they would execute a coordinated siege that left 166 people dead. The ensuing massacre exposed a devastating reality. The local police dismissal was only the final link in a long chain of security breakdowns. Days before the men even boarded that speedboat, United States intelligence agencies transmitted the exact coordinates of their mothership, the Al Husseini, directly to the Indian government. Despite having the specific location of a hostile vessel moving toward their coast, Indian authorities launched no interception. The Coast Guard and Navy patrols, which had been actively monitoring the waters in previous years, had recently been scaled back. A military-grade infiltration force had sailed directly into India's financial capital. The tragedy of 26/11 occurred because a massive, systemic intelligence apparatus failed to act on the data it already possessed. Operating out of Pakistan, the leadership of Lashkar-e-Taiba understood that a strike of this magnitude required perfect, on-the-ground intelligence. They needed to know the layout of the targets, the security protocols, and the fastest entry and exit routes. They found their scout in Dawood Gilani, who had legally changed his name to David Coleman Headley. Using his American passport and a newly established visa consulting firm as his cover, Headley traveled to Mumbai multiple times. He freely roamed the city, mapping the target zones and sending detailed reconnaissance back to his handlers without ever raising a red flag. With the blueprints secured, the handler selected 32 recruits for a grueling 3-phase physical training program. The regimen was severe, including 60-hour mountain treks without food. By the end, only 15 men remained, and from them, the final 10 were chosen. The handlers also focused on deep cultural subversion. The attackers were taught the Marathi language to navigate the city, given clothes matching local trends, and instructed to wear kalavas, sacred Hindu threads on their wrists. These markers were specifically chosen to obscure their origins and confuse first responders during the opening hours of the attack. These attackers were highly programmed assets. Every step of their operation was designed to exploit the vulnerabilities Headley had mapped out. Once ashore, the 10 men split into smaller groups and moved precisely to the locations Headley had scouted. They struck 5 heavily populated targets simultaneously: the Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminus Railway Station, Leopold Café, the Taj Mahal Palace Hotel, the Oberoi Trident, and Nariman House. The opening volley at the Chhatrapati Shivaji Railway Station demonstrated the severity of the threat. 2 attackers, Ajmal Kasab and Ismail Khan, walked into the terminal and opened fire. Witnesses later described the men laughing, moving through the station and executing commuters with the detached rhythm of a video game. Within an hour, 58 people were dead. The railway police and local officers attempted to stop the massacre, but they faced a lethal math problem. The attackers were carrying modern AK-47 assault rifles, extra magazines, and military hand grenades. The police were armed with standard, low-capacity duty revolvers. The confrontation was entirely one-sided. Senior officers rushing to the scene, including anti-terrorism squad chief Hemant Karkare, drove directly into an ambush. The attackers emptied 2 full AK-47 magazines into the police vehicle in a matter of minutes, killing Karkare and several of his men. The local forces fought back, but courage cannot deflect rifle rounds. The institutional failure to equip beat cops for a paramilitary invasion meant the first line of defense was eliminated almost immediately. Control of the city now depended on India's elite tactical units, the Marine Commandos, or Marcos, and the National Security Guard. But the NSG units were stationed in New Delhi and struggled to secure transport aircraft, delaying their arrival by critical hours. When they finally breached the Taj and Oberoi hotels, they were fighting completely blind. The Commandos had no accurate floor plans, no confirmed locations for the terrorists, and no way to distinguish the hundreds of trapped civilians from the enemy in the smoke-filled, burning corridors. And the terrorists had one final, massive intelligence advantage. Indian news networks were broadcasting the Commandos' movements live on television. In Pakistan, the handlers watched the feeds in real time and dictated precise tactical instructions straight to the attackers' cell phones. To counter this omniscient enemy, the Commandos relied on sheer grit. Inside the Taj Hotel, Major Sandeep Unikrishnan ordered his team to fall back after a colleague was severely wounded. He pushed forward alone, engaging 4 heavily armed terrorists at once to secure the operation, sacrificing his own life in the process. Outside on the streets, Assistant Sub-Inspector Tukaram Ombol tackled a terrorist, despite being entirely unarmed. He absorbed 23 point-blank bullets, holding onto the weapon just long enough for his squad to capture the man alive. That man was Ajmal Kasab. Ombol's final act secured the sole surviving attacker. Because the broader security apparatus had failed at every level, the undeniable proof of the international conspiracy was only obtained through the lives of the men on the ground. By the morning of November 29th, the guns finally went silent. 9 terrorists were dead, 1 was in custody, and 166 people had been killed. The political response was swift. Facing intense public anger over the glaring communication breakdowns, the Home Minister, the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, and the Deputy Chief Minister all resigned. The government realized the entire system required a hard reset. On December 31st, 2008, India established the National Investigation Agency, a centralized body strictly dedicated to investigating terror activities and ensuring actionable intelligence would never again be ignored by competing local departments. To solve the deployment delays, the military overhauled its logistics. The National Security Guard decentralized its forces by establishing permanent commando hubs in major cities like Mumbai, Chennai, and Calcutta. If another threat emerged, elite response teams would be minutes away, rather than hours. The 60-hour siege systematically dismantled India's existing security protocols. It took the paralysis of a metropolis to expose those gaps, but that brutal exposure ultimately forced the state to completely rebuild its national security architecture from the ground up.